Wow, wow. So tell us a little bit about the study that just came out of Sweden that is just so alarming.
The news is buzzing out of Lund University, Malmö, Sweden. Marcus Alden is the first author. The first demonstration in a human hepatic or liver cell line that the Pfizer vaccine, in fact, reverse transcribes and installs DNA into the human genome.
Wow.
And so in simple terms, what does that mean, Dr. Bartlett?
Thank you for making it simple. So basically, there's an enzyme that can take that messenger RNA vaccine information and put it into the DNA of the person, into their DNA. And we were told that could not happen. So this is in a lab, but it's showing that you remember the vaccine is messenger RNA.
Yeah.
And we were told that that messenger RNA could not go into your DNA, but this is showing that in a lab it can.
And so what happens when it does, Dr. Gold?
Well, can I answer slightly different than your question?
Yeah.
So one of the fun things about the last couple of years being a doctor and lawyer is this is a very interesting opportunity, and I think we're going to be bringing another lawsuit because there's actually federal law that you cannot discriminate against people for genetic discriminations. I forgot the acronym. I think it's GINA, G-I-N-A. GINA, right? So this now opens the door to saying that if you're not allowing somebody in who chose not to get the shot, that you're actually engaging in genetic discrimination. So I think there's this Sweden study, I think, opens the door to a new type of lawsuit.
If you're pregnant and you have this done, can that then affect your baby?
Yes, see, this is the alarming finding. The CDC says on its website very explicitly, this will not change your DNA. The paper that came out of Sweden, now there'll be many more to confirm it, and the steps are to confirm it, to confirm that the entire code is installed, and then to actually confirm that it's expressed, meaning that the spike protein now is continuously expressed from human cells. But because the lipid nanoparticles are taken up everywhere, that means somatic cells in your organs, but also your gametocytes, actually the cells that actually are the sperm and the egg. If they are carrying it, that indeed means that, in fact, it could be passed to the daughter cells. And
so that could be open up for birth defects and all kinds of things. But the thing that I'm thinking about as a minister of the gospel is that, you know, the Bible says, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the coming of the Son of Man. And it goes on to say they were eating, drinking, giving in marriage. Okay, that's always gone on. But what was it about Noah's time? That was when...
Genesis 6.
That's when the sons of God got with the daughters of men, and they messed up.
They were distorting God's creation.
And distorted God's creation and the image that we were created in. And to me, that is the more dangerous thing that I see here, that you're messing with God's creation. What about that?
Yeah, you know, God said everything should reproduce after its kind.
Yeah.
And so this is where in Genesis 6, there was hybrids that are reported. And so if you have different DNA, your DNA is what makes you. It's the code for who you are.
And it's, you know, it is, I mean, we know, because obviously we're a Christian television network, we know that we're created in God's image, and that the way that there is a battle going on, good against evil, and the way the enemy wants to get back at God is through his creation. So that's a dangerous thing, Dr. McCullough, to think about something like this penetrating the DNA.
There's a distortion going on of the human body. The vaccines appear to be, in a myriad of ways, distorting human biology. In an analysis by McLachlan and colleagues from Queens early in the pandemic, he was analyzing how are people dying after the vaccines. There was only 1,200 deaths, but the answer was it is truncating the life of our seniors. Our seniors are the ones dying early after the vaccine, the ones we wanted to save. And then we're seeing in the Department of Defense epidemiologic database, as Attorney Tom Rentz disclosed at the U.S. Senate testimony, it is accelerating all these other diseases, cancers, rheumatologic diseases, in the DMED database, strongly related to fetal loss, miscarriages and stillbirths, and cardiovascular and neurologic disease. It's almost as if anything that somebody has is going to be worsened by taking a vaccine.